You took your guidance up, you beat everybody on earnings, you beat everybody on revenues, and yet you're not getting the credit in the marketplace. Why is that?
Well, I don't determine the stock price, but we're pretty pleased with the first quarter of the year. A good start, and as you mentioned in your lead in there, really driven by our newest products, which now make up 30% of the revenue, and that's a long and durable revenue stream for the company. We've launched 9 brands in the last 3 years and hope to launch as many as 6 more in the next year and a half. So the company's really in a new phase of growth, and we're excited about that.
And just to break it down for our audience a little bit, those new products, what are the leaders and what categories? Are we talking about diabetes? Are we talking about arthritis? Are we talking about cancer? What are we talking about?
3 main categories so far and 1 more to come. So in diabetes, clearly our biggest and most important set of new products, really creating new options for patients suffering from various forms of diabetes. Trulicity, the biggest seller there, and had a strong quarter. But our insulin business continues to do well, including a new basal insulin called Basaglar. And we have oral products as well, like Jardiance, which is for type 2 diabetes. In cancer, Verzenio just launched and a new indication approved in Q1 for first-line metastatic breast cancer, as well as products like Cyramza and Lartruvo for other forms of cancer. Cyramza had some new data for liver cancer, which was positive. And then finally, what we call autoimmune conditions like psoriatic arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. And Taltz has launched a few years ago for psoriatic arthritis. Olumiant just last year in Europe and Japan, 40 countries launched, not yet approved in the U.S. And yesterday there was an advisory committee at the FDA which informs the FDA, doesn't decide for them. That was, to our mind, mixed. We were pleased with their support of the 2 milligram lower dose, but they had some concerns about the higher dose. So we'll work with the FDA now to get that approved and launched in the U.S. Hopefully this summer.
Well, thank you, Dave, for taking us here. I was going to ask, it's baricitinib. Is that the way it's pronounced? Is that right?
Baricitinib, or the trade name's Olumiant, which what we can call it. Yeah.
So as you say, you got approval for the 2 milligram, not the 4 milligram. How big a setback is that? And is it the case that, in fact, the 4 milligram is what you need in order to really compete against some of the other pharma companies?
Well, as I said, the advisory committee advises the FDA. They don't determine the approval. They supported the efficacy of both doses strongly and unanimously on the 4 milligram, and they supported overall risk-benefit for the 2 milligram, but not the 4, where it was a 5 to 10 vote. We don't agree with that conclusion, and we've been pretty consistent with that for some time. And by the way, neither do 40 other countries, which approve both the 2 and the 4, and we're seeing patients achieve great success with this product outside the U.S. on both those doses. We think both should be available and practitioners should decide. The FDA now has to deliberate on those 2 inputs, and we'll work with them over the next month or 2 to hopefully bring this product to U.S. patients with rheumatoid arthritis, which is a very serious and lifelong disease.
And Dave, how confident are you that ultimately you will prevail on the FDA for that? And frankly, I know you're not responsible for the stock market, but is that part of the reason why you may not be getting all the credit right now in the equity markets?
I'm sure that weighs on investors' minds. New products always affect a pharma company's evaluation. We're confident Olumiant will come to the U.S. market and be one of many successful products for us. As I said, we've launched 9 products in the last 3 years and hope to launch 6 more. And the final category we hope to launch in is pain. We've got some migraine products coming over the next year, and in partnership with Pfizer, a new medicine, non-opioid medicine, for chronic pain, which is a huge problem in this country.
So Dave, there's news here we've been breaking this morning about Takeda and Shire. We've been hearing about this for some time. We just had actually a red headline cross the Bloomberg saying that now Shire is saying, yes, they are considering the offer. Talk more broadly about consolidation in your industry. Does this make sense to you that there be this sort of consolidation, and what does it mean for Lilly?
Yes, well, I think post-tax reform, there's been a lot of commentary about potential consolidations. Where we're focused is putting our capital to work to build our pipeline, adding companies with compounds or directly partnering on new molecules that can advance our interests in our core therapeutic areas like diabetes, oncology, and autoimmune. That's where we're focused on deploying capital. Others have different focuses, rolling up big businesses and combining with synergy. We happen to believe that those kinds of rationale don't tend to create new innovation, and this is a business driven by revenue growth and innovation, not cost cutting. So we're not very focused on that right now. We're not interested in Shire, frankly, although Takeda may be. I wouldn't be surprised to hear about more types of those combinations. That's just not where we're focused today.
I also want to talk about bending the cost curve in healthcare a little bit. You've been outspoken on the question of rebates and how the big pharmaceutical benefit manufacturers are operating. What can we do? What should be done as a policy matter to really help people get access to pharmaceuticals at a more affordable price?
Yeah, critical question. You know, pharmaceuticals is the one part of the U.S. healthcare system where patients pay list price. When you go to get an MRI or a doctor's services, usually you're paying the negotiated rate that your insurance company negotiated for you. We think this should change, and pharmaceuticals should look like that like the rest of the healthcare system. Patients benefiting from the negotiated rate that PBMs and other actors negotiate with manufacturers, passing those through at the point of sale. And that's really the pain point as high deductible plans are becoming so prominent. Patients need a break at the pharmacy counter. We also are for what's called value-based pricing, where manufacturers and other actors would index the price point of a particular medication to its actual value delivered. That's a more advanced concept, something else we think could really help alleviate consumer out-of-pocket costs and deliver value into the healthcare system.